There's something called 2019 that's coming. Nigerians are very aware of 2019 coming. A new round of elections and all of that. And I imagine that women are going to be ready. I hear that in Nigeria, only about 6% of parliament is women, compared to like 23% for other African countries. So, you've been championing efforts in this area, looking at gender balancing and those kinds of issues. So as far as you are concerned, when you look towards 2019 and these things that are going to be happening, what is the nature of preparedness for women? What are the things that women are looking at as their key issues? Is it representation? Is it particular issues? What are the big things for women as we start to look towards 2019?
Thank you. I think that's a very critical question. When you say our level of preparedness, I would want to say that, well, the stakes are higher now. We've lost quite a number of women from 2007 when we had our highest percentage, and that was 11% of women in parliament. Now the stakes are higher because we've lost, we're just 5.5, not even up to 6%. We have just 7 women in the Senate, 20 in the House of Reps. Nationally, we have 991 legislators and we just have 59 women in all the states. We've got about 15 states with not even one woman in the state parliament. So that's very, very strange for a country that should be leading in Africa. The regional average for representation of women in parliament is 19%. We're way below that.
The region meaning West Africa?
West Africa,
okay.
Yes, 19%. We're way below
So that means they do a little better in East Africa than in West Africa.
Of course.
Okay.
We have countries like Rwanda with over 40, 50%.
Yes, absolutely.
So for level of preparedness, I would say now we know that the stakes are higher and we need to do something to begin to reverse the trend. Like I said earlier, it was from 2007 that the numbers started going down. And I think women now know they need to start early. They need to begin to build alliances and networks across political divides. There's one thing we're doing right now with the women, and we're saying women have one party now, and it's the Women's Party of Nigeria. So we're having women supporting each other across party lines. If a woman is coming up for re-election,
no matter what the issue is,
and you are in that state, you must
even if the woman is no good, once she's a woman, we just support her.
Well, the issue is that the goalpost always change for women. I haven't ever had men talk about quality whenever a man is running for office. I can't say that every man in political position, any decision-making position right now is ably qualified. But I find those questions coming up whenever it has to do with women, So that means that we've got to do better. So when a man is giving 100%, we've got to give 120% or even 150%.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't sacrifice quality, on the altar of mediocrity, of course. But I think that for now, the focus is every person, no matter the quality, has a shot at leadership. And democracy is government of the people, for the people, by the people, not governments of the people, for intelligent people, by qualified people. It's still for everyone. If you're a player, you can get the votes. I think you have a right to win. But the most important thing right now is to begin to look for entry points where we can even get women, to leave the single digits that we currently occupy, 5.5%.
So this 5.5%, what's caused it? I mean, is it because women are not prepared? Women don't have the skills to be able to be there? Women are not politically strong enough, economically strong enough, socially strong enough, or somebody is restraining them. Somebody is pushing them back. What causes? Why is it that it's 5.5% when the regional average, as you said, was 19%? We're 5.5% in Nigeria. What was the reason for that?
I think that we need to first look at the issue from the perspective of political will. Every country that has had an increase in the number of women in parliament have had to target policies towards that. It didn't happen by chance, apart from Rwanda, where the genocide, of course, made it possible for more women to be in parliament. Yeah. Every other country has made a conscious effort to ensure that there's parity and there's inclusion of women in decision making. Until Nigeria decides to do that, we'll continue to have this downslide. Now, in 1999, we had just 3 women in parliament. In 2003, we grew to 7. In 2007, it was our best year ever. It was 11%. By 2011, the stakes started, the space started shrinking. More people became aware. Even in 1999, most of the elites weren't interested in politics. We left it to just anyone who was interested. People weren't very aware. By 2011, the awareness came on board. And of course, you mentioned money. It became a game of numbers and money. And a lot of women do not have the kind of resources. And when I say resources, not just financial resources, they're talking about networks and alliances and negotiations that go on in political parties. When these negotiations come in, women are not even at the table at all. And when you're not at the table, you're taking decision, you're probably on the menu.
But to get started, I'm thinking. So let's start with the issues. Let's try to look at what are the key issues that the electorate will be looking at. Looking towards 2019.
Looking at the issues that are unfolding in 2018 as a preparation towards 2019 general election. Before we talk about the remarkers, the political gladiators, and who are those people that are actually wielding a very serious influence as far as 2019 election is concerned. As I've rightly said, we need to look at the issues.
Yes.
When you look at all these issues that played up in 2015 general elections, most of those issues are still on ground. Most of those issues have not been taken care of, and it's the same issues that will be used by the political...
What are those issues?
I'm going to mention them.
Okay.
If you could recall, before 2015 general election, there are issues of insecurity, the demonic Boko Haram insurgency, particularly in the northeastern part of the country, and occasionally in some other part of the country, Kano, Abuja, and Adamawa and Co. Yeah. So when you look at all these issues of insecurity, I can tell you that in spite of the fact that the current administration has done reasonably well in tackling Boko Haram insurgency, the solution to Boko Haram insurgency had actually led to some other petty insecurity issues like Fulani S-men attack, kidnapping that is being known everywhere, even armed robbery. All these have become very notorious during this administration, and I must also tell you that it's one of the issues that is threatening the national security in this country. So the issue of security has not been totally resolved. Then economy. You could recall that our economy was in total shambles before the advent of this administration. The same story is still repeating itself up to now. Not much has been done in reviving our economy since 2015. Going into the 3 years of this administration, our economy is still in total quagmire. Foreign exchange is still very embarrassing, and the economy downturn had actually led to hardship, exacerbating poverty and uncertainties.
So now, the way I see Nigerians see themselves, it seems to me they look at it more or less initially from an ethnic prism. And they say, I'm a Yoruba person, I'm a Hausa person, I'm an Igbo person, to mention the three major groups.
There are two platforms.
So why do they do that now? Yes. Why don't they say, and this is what I hear people saying, why don't they come out for the most part and just say, I'm Nigerian?
The reason is that usually there are two platforms depending on what the narratives come.
Okay.
They either talk of their ethnic nationality, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, BBF, Kanang, or they talk of their religion.
Okay.
I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
We've not, for you to have a nation, there has to be a unifying factor. There must be a unifying factor. What links the northerner with the easterner? We really don't have a unifying factor. So we are a country, but it's difficult for you to advance the argument that we are a nation. Okay. Country has to do with geographic, expression and boundaries, but nationhood has to do with common interests, cultures, traditions, things like that. And for us as Nigerians, outside of the culture of Africans as being respectful of others, elders, and all those things, but as Nigerians, we really don't have not been able to weave in that superior position that makes me to defer to it before my tribe or my religion.
Yeah.
For instance, if we picked a common language, and I'm one of those on an individual basis who has advocated that we should pick a language. We should not be
like Gokana.
It should. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Now you're coming to exactly what I have in mind. It should not be Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, any of the major tribes. It should not.
Okay.
It should be a minor tribe.
Okay.
Where there won't be much of a competition, and we should get linguists to study. Some minor tribes are very rich, extremely rich, because before you can adopt a language, it must be able to satisfy certain fundamentals.
Yes.
And like you said, the Kokana, there are certain languages you hear, and you're like, wow, this sounds good. And you try to find out, and they're like, because it's.
Before we go too far,
the
viewers out there, they don't know what is Nigeria First. I just said you're a DG of Nigeria First. Are you an organization? Are you a committee? Are you an NGO? What is this?
Nigeria First is a civic engagement platform. It's an NGO, so to speak. The only thing is that let's put it at that level, and we have one primary objective.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is your goal? Who are you and what is your goal? What are you trying
Nigeria
to
First
achieve?
is a platform that has come to bring about leadership recruitment criteria and processes.